Good morning children. Welcome to 6th standard science online class. Let us start with the first chapter, motion, force and missions. So when you just go through this chapter, you will be knowing certain points. Let me see what are the points you will be knowing. By the end of the chapter, you will know that motion is an integral part of our everyday life. Means for anything, any work, what is required? A movement is required. So that is, movement is nothing but motion. That motion can be linear, circular, oscillatory or periodic. So what type of motions, what type of movements? It can be linear, circular. Linear means either it should be in one direction, only in one direction, either it can be straight or curved. Circular, circular means moving round. Oscillatory means what? Moving to and fro. This is what we call it as the oscillatory motion. Periodic motion means it has got particular time, distance, all this, that we call it as a periodic motion. That force is required to put an object into motion, to change its direction of motion or stop its motion. So this movement has to be done or it has to be stopped. What is required? There is something called force. That force is required. What is this force? Force is nothing but either it should be a push or a pull. Because of this push or pull only, what happens? An object can be moved from one place to the other. That force can be contact force or non-contact force. What do you mean by contact force? If you directly touch a object and make it move, then it is a contact force. Indirectly, either through machines or fuels or something, if you make them move, then it is called as a non-contact force. That machines help us to do work with lesser effort, with greater comfort and with lesser time. Means, to apply this force, what is required? We require certain machines or tools. That machines are the ones which help us to do the work, and if you have the machines, what happens? We don't have to use more of our efforts and we can use it with greater comfort and with lesser time. The work can be done in very less time. That complex machines are made up of several simple machines. So you can see in industries or factories, big machines will be there. Now that big machines, to make that big machines, what is happening is, to make that big machine, there will be small machines assembled together. All this assembled together will make a big machine. That machines need proper care and maintenance for proper functioning and long life. So when you just have the machines, what machines require? They have to be taken with proper care and it should be maintained properly. If not, what will happen? The machines will spoil. So if you maintain the machines with proper lubrication and other things, what will happen? That can remain for a longer time. That precautions as per the manufacturer's instructions should be taken while using a machine. So any machine let it be. You see, the manufacturers who has done that machine, they will just give us with certain rules and regulations, and based on the rules and regulations only what we have to do, we have to use that certain machines. Now for example, you can see a mixie. If you take a mixie at home, mixie also, there will be so many in the mixie, so you can see a motor and the jars and all that. How it has to be operated, how it has to be washed, how it has to be maintained, everything will be written in a manual. And that manual will be given by the manufacturer to the consumer. So we have to use the certain rules and regulations which is given there. Only then we can maintain it properly. Now let us see the introduction part of it. Have you ever played the game statue? What does it mean? It is a game statue. There may be music or there may be a whistle or somebody may say stop. Maybe you will be moving. Somebody says stop. Immediately you have to stop. How? Without any movement. So, without any movement means not even blinking your eyes. So, this is a game actually. Okay. So, I think you would have played this game called statue. Isn't it fun to stand like a statue for a few seconds without showing any sign of motion, not even the blinking of eyes. Now for example, let's stand like a statue. So what happened now? There is no movement. This is what we call it as a statue. Oh yes, it is tough too. So you can stand for some time, but not for a longer time. Motion is an integral part of our everyday life. So for everything now, for example, see, I am taking a class here. I am just moving. See, my hands are moving. My mouth also is talking. So it's a movement. So without this movement, there is no life at all here. Motion is an integral part of our everyday life. In fact, the ability to move on one's own is a characteristic of a living organism. So if you take living organisms and non-living things, living organisms, the life processes or one of the characteristics is nothing but movement. Without movement, living organisms cannot live at all. So what do we do for our movement? We either walk, jog, run or jump to move around. Birds fly in the air and leaves on a tree move in response to the wind. So we walk, jog, run or anything. But what about the birds? Birds, they fly in the air with the help of their wings. And leaves on a tree. See, leaves cannot move until and unless somebody just gives a force to that or by the wind. So when the wind blows, what happens? Even the leaves will start moving. Objects, however, need to be pushed or pulled to put them into motion. So this is an object, this is an object. Now they cannot move because they are non-living things. But what happens? If I just make like this, what happens? You can see the movement. But it is not moving on its own. I am making it to move. So I am using a force here. This is motion. I am using the force which helps in motion. Now, for example, in the game of hockey, players pull the ball from their opponents using hockey sticks and try to push it to the opponent's goal to score a point. So I think all of you would have seen this hockey game. There will be two opposite parties and there will be two goalies also. So what happens? There will be a net. So what happens? The opponent parties, they have to put their goal, they have to make the goal on the opposite side. So what happens? You have seen that people with the hockey stick, you can see like that umbrella stick, you know. With that, they start pulling the ball from the opposite court so that they will never do the goal. So this is what is called as the movement here. See, in the game of hockey, players pull the ball from their opponents using hockey sticks and try to push it to the opponent's goal to score a point. Engines need to pull the bogies to move the train while a car which has had a breakdown needs to be pushed or to move it. Now, you have seen a train. It will have so many bogies. How are these bogies moving together? They have got a hook. They will be connected. One bogie will be connected to the other bogie with the hooks. But in the front, you can see an engine. So this engine is the one which helps in movement of all the bogies. Now, a car has got a breakdown. Means what? Car cannot move. If there is a breakdown, car cannot move at all. Now you cannot leave the car wherever it is. So it has to be taken to the mechanic or somewhere. So what has to be done? Then that car requires certain pull or push. So you would have seen one vehicle with a rope. It will be pulling the rope will be tied to the front vehicle which is moving, and that will be tied to the breakdown vehicle. And when this front vehicle moves, what happens? It will be just pulling the other vehicle which has already had a breakdown, or you have to either push it. So this is what we call it as the force. Now push or pull is a common name given.
Force. We hear the usage of this term many times in our day-to-day life. We might not know that we're using it. Opening a door, riding a bicycle, lifting an object are few of the most common things that we perform in our daily lives, and all these require a force. What is a force? Consider a ball lying on the ground at rest. It's not moving. Suppose this player here wants to pass this ball to his teammate who's standing on the other side of the pitch. How will he do that? He needs to make this ball move in the direction of his teammate. So he will kick the ball in the direction of his teammate. When he kicks the ball, we say that he applied a force on the football. Yes, the kick is nothing but the force he applied on the ball. Now suppose that we have a desk here at point A. A person wants to move this desk from point A to this point B. Again, how will he do that? Here, he will push the desk towards point B. In this case, we say that the person applied a force on the desk in order to shift it. The push here is the force that the person applied on the desk. Similarly, when you lift some object from the table, we say that you applied a force on that object. Here, the force is applied in the form of lifting. So, forces are nothing but actions such as kicking, pushing, lifting, etc. performed on objects. There are many such actions that we can perform. We have already seen few of these. Some more of them are given below. While riding a bicycle, we pedal it continuously to keep it in motion. Here, pedaling is the force that we apply on a bicycle. Hitting the hammer on a nail is also a force applied on the nail. What about stopping a moving ball? Yes, even stopping the ball means we are applying a force on it. We applied some force to stop the ball. Opening a drawer, plucking the string of a guitar, moving a piece on a chessboard are some of the other actions performed on objects. So performing these actions on objects is nothing but applying force on them. But these are just a handful of simply too many actions that we can perform on the objects. And it's not possible to write each one of those. But we can categorize all these actions into two basic ones. That is, we can describe all these actions under two actions, namely pushing and pulling. For example, when we open this drawer, we are simply pulling the knob of the drawer to open it. Similarly, when we are drawing or lifting a bucket of water from the well, we are pulling the bucket towards us. What are the actions that can be described under pushing? Actions such as passing the ball, hitting the hammer on the nail, etc. can be thought of as pushing an object. Are there any actions that can be described under both? Yes, there are. Suppose there's a book on the table, you can either pull it towards you like this or push it away from you like this. So moving an object can be described under both. Similarly, opening or shutting a door can be thought of as both. So we can safely say at this point that the forces are nothing but the push or pull applied on objects. Forces are due to interaction between the bodies or objects. What does it mean? Let's go back to our first example of this video. Here, in order to pass the ball to his teammate, the player must move it. That is, he must interact with the ball to move it in the direction of his teammate. He interacts with the ball by kicking it. The ball and the player interact with each other. In the second example, in order to move the desk from point A to point B, he must interact with the desk. We will study more on these interactions in the future videos. Now, since we are clear with the basic understanding of what force is, let me put its definition in front of you. It states that a force is a push or pull upon an object resulting from the object's interaction with another object. In the next lesson, we will talk more about these interactions. See you there.